If you have ever wanted to dominate internet marketing, then this is the show for you. On today's show, we are interviewing an entrepreneur who has been focused on providing technology-based marketing for startups since 2010. Christian Pillett is currently the CEO of a company called Adfinitely. Adfinitely was recently named as a top 5 marketing supplier for franchise brands by Entrepreneur Magazine, and is one of the fastest growing companies providing marketing services to multi-location businesses.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrivetime Show.
3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to another exciting edition of the Thrivetime Show on your radio and podcast download. And Dr. Z, I'm very, very excited to have today's guest on because Christian Pillett is an expert in the world of digital marketing. Now, Dr. Z, you and I have both met a lot of charlatans. I'll call them a millennial with a laptop who call themselves
at a coffee shop
marketing, right? A marketing expert or a social media guru. It's pretty much any millennial at a coffee shop with a laptop. It has to be a Macintosh.
Hey, bro, I can, bro, I can help you out, bro.
Bro, I'm unbelievable,
Bro,
man.
it's unbelievable,
Are you
bro.
satisfied with your
Bro,
ROI,
you want more
bro?
business, bro? I'm your business,
But
bro.
this
bro.
guy has actually implemented his proven digital marketing systems and has really helped a lot of multi-unit franchisees and franchises out there where, you know, if a franchise has 200 locations, they want to hire a proven expert to help them with their digital marketing. They don't want to be, you know, doing a try it sort of thing.
So what we have here is kind of a big deal.
He's a big deal.
Okay.
So Christian, welcome onto the show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Christian, again, your career sort of speaks for itself. You've built a big name for yourself in the world of franchising. You're very good at helping companies to have a massive and productive digital presence when it comes to marketing. Can you please explain to the listeners out there how your approach to digital marketing is different from that of the average digital marketing agency?
You guys really nailed it with the bro. So what you'll find is that most people doing digital marketing are out there. They're with a laptop, and they've read a couple blogs, and now they're experts. So what I'd say is very different from our approach is, first of all, it's proven step by step. And what we do is we start with your most important thing. So anytime you're talking about online marketing, the first place that customers go is your website. So on the website, that's action item number 1. You basically want to check all of the boxes to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success. It's a prescription plan. There are about 10 things every small business should do, every multi-location business should do, that's going to set you up for success. Second thing is focusing off your site. So the world's most valuable piece of real estate is the first page of Google, and focusing on the things that make Google happy, primarily now Google My Business. And then from there, going to off-page SEO techniques, and really building backlinks and just doing it step by step. Adding in social media, the amount of social likes you have is important. The frequency and activity you post is important. But collectively, I'd say the one thing that really makes the approach different than other vendors is online marketing as a whole is about trust. It's, do the search engines trust who you are, who you say you are, who you're trying to be, and that visitors are actually getting a good experience when they go to your site. So the one thing that we do, which is something that not many people in the industry talk about, we literally just try to check all of the boxes. We try to do all of the activities, and I think that's what makes our program special.
Okay, you just dropped, Z, I believe, 3 consecutive knowledge bombs. Crazy. 3. That was 1 bomb, Z, but 2 bombs. And
May I do the third?
please. Oh, this is a good
so
bomb
good.
there.
So
This is a good bomb.
good.
Okay, now, so digital marketing presence 101. You just mentioned that being top in the Google search results is the number 1 piece of real estate in the world today. For the listeners out there that don't understand what you meant by that, what do you mean when you say being top in the Google search results?
So every time someone does a search on Google, they're given a list of results. And there are a couple of ways to be at the top. Number 1 is to pay for it. It can be very expensive. And there are a lot of people who can waste a lot of money getting you there. The number 2 place you show up, typically for local small businesses, they're going to show a map pack. And the 3rd place when you do a search is organic SEO results. And being in all 3 of those places, or at least 2 of the 3, is the most valuable piece of real estate on the internet and arguably in the world, because those top positions will get the most clicks, resulting in the most business for those companies.
So being top in the Google Map pack, just so we're clear, if you were to type in carpet cleaning quotes right now, if anybody out there listening, if you'll type in carpet cleaning quotes, I'm going to type it in real quick. I pull it up, I drag it to the big screen so everybody in the studio can see this as well. OxyFresh comes up top in the world with 144,385 reviews in the world. If you type in Tulsa men's haircuts, that's our haircut chain, Elephant in the Room, we come up top with 656 reviews. Our closest competitor has 38. Reviews matter. Can you please help a listener out there, Christian, who's going, I don't know, it's so hard to get reviews. People don't want to leave reviews. I don't even think my customers read reviews. Why is it so important to gather reviews?
Reviews make all the difference in the world. So with reviews, we have this conversation with our clients all the time. And you're right, it is difficult to get reviews. What we find, though, is most small business owners are simply afraid to ask for those reviews. So reviews, we've done study after study, and as soon as you get more than 30 reviews on Google, your business starts to show up at the top, and that's regardless of a lot of the other things that are happening.
True.
So focus. What we've done, and this is also me being a franchisee of Cherry Blow Dry Bar, a salon chain, but for each of our locations, we told our managers that they needed to ask every member that we have in our business, every happy member, for a review. And the simple act of asking will drive those reviews. They're easy to get, and you just can't be afraid to ask for them. A lot of people don't want negative feedback. It's a psychology thing. But a lot of times you'll get great feedback, and people are happy to help out a local business owner. So ask for those reviews.
Now, the digital marketing online checklist. I know there's a big checklist. The reason why there is a checklist, Z, is because when there are many, many things on a list, you can't possibly remember all of them, which is why you put it on a list. So I'm not trying to paint you into a corner, Christian, and make you say what all of the items on the checklist are. But what are some of the things on the digital marketing online presence checklist that most business owners absolutely, completely, 100% of the time miss out on, where you go, wow, this is on the checklist. You're definitely not doing that. You need to be doing this.
Yeah, I'll give you exactly what we tell our clients, especially when they're opening businesses. So we have Sure Start programs for new businesses that are opening. Each business that's opening should go out and they should buy 1,000 Facebook likes. You go run a Facebook ad campaign and you get 1,000 Facebook likes. Businesses with over that amount of likes we see just tend to organically do better, and it's a social signal for Google. Second thing, you want to focus on reviews. So as soon as you start getting customers coming in, you need to get 30 reviews as quickly as possible. On your local website, this probably should have been the first on the checklist. On your local website, you need to make sure that in about 10 different places, it's called title tags, headlines, very visible on the website, first 165 characters of content. You need to have the keyword that you want to rank for. So if you're a men's hair salon, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You say men's haircuts, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and you say it in 10 different places on your website. And then it needs to be very easy to contact you. So you need to have a contact number that's prevalent. You need to have testimonials on your site because not everyone wants to go off your site to figure out who you are and what your reputation is. So beyond that, things that we recommend that not everyone's going to do is setting up tools to also monitor that presence. So when you get a review, you have to respond to that review. Another thing with the Google My Business page that most people don't do, they'll put one picture of their business up, and it's a picture that's taken on an iPhone that anyone could have taken, and it's not a great representation of their business.
Are you in front of a computer right now? Are you in front of a computer?
I am. Yep.
Can you do me a favor real quick? This will be just real-time feedback. Can you Google search real quick Tulsa men's haircuts? Can you pull that up real quick here? Is that cool? Tulsa men's haircuts.
You got it. Yep.
And you'll see the elephant in the room listing coming up. Do you see that coming up there in the Google map?
I do.
Okay.
First place.
Let's click on that real quick. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to click on the first one that comes up. I think it's called Elephant in the Room Men's Grooming Lounge of Tulsa Men's Haircuts. Do you see that listing there? I think the address is 8931 South Yale. Do you see that?
You got it. Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to click on this, and I hear this every day. So this is like me anecdotally saying this. If I want to get your feedback on this, people tell me all the time, dude, I clicked through your photos, and they don't call me, they call our call center. But I clicked through your photos, I read the reviews, and I watched the video testimonials, or I went through the 3D tour there. Can you explain why that is so effective? Because I think so many people are pushing back on this idea. I've got a 3D tour, I've got photos, I've got tons of testimonials. Why? You're looking at ours right now. I just queued up a video. This is a video testimony. Let me play it real quick
Hi,
here.
Philip Cruz. I heard about Elephant Room through a friend referral. It's a fantastic experience.
Another one.
My name is Darren Anderson, and I found him through an online Google review.
You will love your first experience at
Oh, coming in hot. Why do people respond so well with customer video reviews and Google reviews and photos? Why does that work?
So people want to see and feel the experience that they're going to have when they go in the store. And what you've done by having these customer reviews, by having the videos, by having good pictures, you're showing people exactly what they're going to have. And there's no doubt in their mind that they want to spend time there and that they want to spend their money there. There's an ancillary benefit too. That's the customer experience, but a secondary benefit of putting the videos up. Google search engines are all about trust. So do they trust who you say you are? When you put up 40 pictures about men's haircuts and you save the image as men's haircuts in Tulsa, then Google is going to trust that you are who you say you are. So you have customers saying you are who you say you are and that they want to be there. And then you're telling the search engines exactly the same thing. And that's what creates a great online presence.
So, Marshall, you work with business owners all the time who have medical businesses or some kind of business in some sort of industry who push back about this. Contractors, dentists, doctors, lawyers, and they go, gosh, I don't have the time, Clay. I realize you and Dr. Z, you have multiple successful companies. You have probably all the time in the world to put a 3D tour and photos and videos, but I don't have the time to get reviews. What question would you have for Christian on behalf of clients you've worked with who may be giving you a little pushback about gathering reviews and enhancing their Google map?
So, Christian, the question that I have is are Google reviews only relevant to a specific industry or business to consumer or business to business? Because I hear this a lot. Oh, I'm a commercial contractor. Nobody goes and reads reviews. Or I only work with other businesses, so people are not evaluating reviews. For every industry, can you speak to why reviews matter across industries and across maybe business types, whether it be a product or a service, universally?
Absolutely. So this is a human interaction, but first impressions are lasting. And when someone comes and sees a great review, so there's this thing about trust about the last number I saw was 93% of people trust what total strangers are saying about another business. And whether you're a contractor, whether you're a dentist, whether you're in a B2C industry, the first thing that's going to show up most times on Google is a review rating about a business. And especially if it's a local business, that's going to be the number one thing that shows up. Your reviews speak to why someone should call you without them having to go through the process of calling you ahead of time and evaluate that piece of it. So it already checks a box of validation prior to a customer calling you. And again, that's in every single industry.
Let me ask,
another quick point I'll make is with reviews, some businesses, carpet cleaning, haircuts, some industries are going to have tons of reviews. Some will have very few. As long as you have more than your competitors, you're doing well.
this is Wes. Let me ask you, you're going to get wholehearted agreement from me that we need reviews. From a selfish standpoint, as someone who's tried to go get reviews, I've threatened employees, I've paid employees, I've tried to move mountains to get the reviews without giving up any trade secrets.
And it's got to be frustrating, like you, for guys like you and Dr.
Right.
Z, who have years, decades of experience, and you're trying to get your teammate to gather reviews.
Right.
Teammates.
I mean, your client comes to you and say, I'm trying. Do you have any suggestions for our listeners about any kind of tricks to get the reviews?
Ooh.
Yeah, a couple of tricks. The time that someone's most likely to give you a review is directly after a service that they're happy with. So it's the same thing with sales. If you don't follow up with someone for 2 weeks, the chances of you getting that sale is going to be more difficult. If you wait for 2 weeks to ask someone to give you a positive review, they've forgotten about the experience they had. So the amount of time that you wait in between asking is going to impact the number of results you actually get. There's another thing you can do. There are tools on the market. My personal favorite is a tool called Listen 360. A lot of franchise brands use it. And what it does is it polls customers after their visits or after their services. And it says, how would you rate us on a scale of 1 to 10? And then if they rate you with a 10, it'll send an email saying, hey, would you mind reviewing us on Google, Yelp, or any of the other review sites that matter.
So good.
So
That's awesome.
Two simple things to put in there.
Now, Christian, I have a question because I hear this from a lot of my clients.
Oh, Marshall Morris, give us the tough questions.
Okay. I have clients that will go out, blood, sweat, tears. They're finally asking their clients for a review, and they feel like they have moved the mountains to get a review. They watched the client go give reviews.
They gave a review.
So they go out and get 10 reviews.
Yes.
But only 6 are showing up on Google. Yeah. What do you have to say, and why do you have to continue getting review even though Google might not show them or they might take reviews away? Why is it important for the diligence of continuing to get reviews week after week, day after day, consistently, rather than be discouraged by Google might not be displaying them or taking them away?
Look, you're right. You have to do this on a daily basis, and it has to be part of your process. Google, Yelp will take things away that they don't trust. Again, every time I talk to clients, I talk about trust. So does Google trust who you say you are? And that also goes with reviews. If Google feels like you're going out and getting reviews that are solicited or fake, they're going to remove those. And Google has a very good idea of where a user is at a certain time. So if you say, hey, I went into this place yesterday, and you happen to be in another state, Google is going to be pretty confident that you were never there. So those reviews are going to go away. The other thing about having a process and just following up, there's an enterprise concept. It's something consultants talk about a lot. It's recency, frequency, and monetary value of a customer. But it applies to Google as well. The recency and frequency with which you're getting reviews is directly going to impact your online presence. If you get 200 reviews in 3 days and then you don't get another one for a year and a half, Google's going to be like, there's something wrong here.
True. Can I tell you the problem I have? This is a huge problem I have. See, can I share with you a cathartic
Just one of your
moment here?
problems? Or how many were you going to go through? Just one?
Let's just go through 2 problems.
Two problems?
6. Let's go through 6.
Well, 6 is a little much.
2. Let's just
cut
do
the
2.
difference.
This is a lot. Here we go.
Let's go like 2.5.
I have a lot of clients who I work with. So Wes Carter would be an example.
Yeah.
I sincerely pay Wes Carter. I think Wes Carter on a weekly basis, his firm, Winners and King, would probably be my top paid person because we have a lot of legal stuff we pay you guys to do. And I'm very happy to pay you because you do a good job. But you're also a client. We help you with marketing, and you guys help us with legal.
Yep.
So we pay you. I think right now we pay you more than you pay us, but there's sometimes you pay us more than we pay you. But the point is, there's money going back and forth.
Yeah.
So I have written you a sincere, objective review based upon my experiences, and you've done the same for me.
Right.
Well, Google looks at it as kind of incestuous, Christian. They say, look, Clay Clark, everybody who's writing a review about you, you have written a review about them. So another example. Dr. Zellner, you and I are partners, but I buy my glasses from you.
Yes.
And you give me an unbelievable discount.
Wait, whoa. Buy as a kind of a arbitrary term.
Well, let me explain this. There was a time my wife worked for you. She was an employee.
Yes.
And what is the employee discount for the employees who work for you? Can you explain that?
Well, they get 1 pair of glasses a year free.
Right. And then my
their
wife
spouses.
stopped working for you for probably, I think, about 17, 18 years.
Yes.
And I would just go back in there because you were so nice to my wife. Seriously. So I would buy glasses from you. And then now you give me the low price of a free pair of glasses.
Correct.
So all I want to make sure the listeners get there is I have bought from you, but we're also partners. So I've left you a review, said Dr. Zellner's been super kind to my family, has helped me out numerous times. I also know of many people in need that you've given glasses to. I wrote that.
Yes.
You've also left a favorable review for our companies. And Google goes, listen here, you Google review buddies.
You Google buddies.
You guys are all leaving each other
GBs.
reviews. It's like you're some sort of scamming network of Google reviewers. And Google's going to remove that. Christian, can you explain for listeners out there, why does Google remove reviews when it looks as though a bunch of buddies have colluded to write each other good reviews?
So what Google's looking for is an actual experience from people. And when they see that there's kind of this circle of trust, this person scratching this person, and then the users are too connected,
Right.
they feel like you can't objectively give a review. Everything is then subjective, right?
Correct.
So Google wants to, the reason people trust online reviews is because these sites are out there and they're filtering out reviews, which are way too positive, but they also filter out reviews that are from competitors. So this works both ways.
Right. I agree. And I would just say this. I have lost many good reviews because many clients of mine who I also buy from them, it seems weird that I would buy from someone who buys from me, but they remove those reviews and we just have to move on. And so, Marshall, that's an idea.
This is what you said, Christian, is so profound. The only reason we use Google is because they do these things.
Yes.
If Google didn't filter out reviews and anybody could go up there and spam their way of all kinds.
You stole my question. Issue number 2, Christian. Why can't people just go on Fiverr and pay for reviews? I see so many business owners who say, why can't I just go on Fiverr and pay for reviews? Why not?
Yes. Google's very good at figuring out who to trust and who not to trust. So is Yelp. Don't want to leave them out of the conversation. But those services they're tracking where you are. They know where a person is. They know if the likelihood of someone frequenting a business. And they know that if it's going to be a fake review, that it's not going to be a good user experience for the person, the actual user of Google, who's going there because they trust Google's results. So if you go to Fiverr, you're going to get people who likely aren't even in the U.S. or near your business, who are happy to post as many reviews as possible, happy to get you as many likes or as many followers as possible, with thousands of people in a room clicking like on your page on hundreds of thousands of phones. But those are going to be taken away very quickly. And it's because, location services is a real thing. And people, unfortunately, Big Brother knows where you are, and they use that to filter out things that aren't real.
It all comes back to trust.
Trust but verify.
Trust.
Now, search engine optimization. There are many firms, Marshall, you've dealt with this, that are out there. They say for $399 a month, we're going to get you to the top of Google, and we're going to help you, and it really almost never delivers. Then there are firms like yours, Christian, where you're working with big franchises. You know, you work with a company like OxyFresh, where there are 386 locations, and as controversial as it may be for the listeners out there. I mean, see, this might be a controversial idea.
Could be. Might be. This just in.
When Jonathan Barnett and I with OxyFresh were contemplating the expense involved in hiring Christian and the team, we realized we'd have to pay them. So you guys...
What?
Yeah, I mean, you guys actually charge a fee, whereas a lot of companies are like, oh, no, for as little as $299 a month, we'll get you to the top of Google. Can you please explain the difference between what your firm does and the average firm, and maybe introduce people to the name of your firm and what you guys do, but contrast what you do versus the low-budget firms, you know, based typically in a third-world country?
Yeah, great question. So the name of my firm is Adfinitely. I believe the future of marketing is in segments of one, and we're developing technology to get there. With this question though, you know, why doesn't $399 a month get you anywhere? If you look at OxyFresh collectively, you said 386 locations.
Yep.
So each one of those locations is effectively paying $99 a month. When you do the math on that, you're up in the $36,000 range. So it's a collective and a collective budget from all of those that really allows us to go and make the tweaks, changes that are needed both on page and off page to get OxyFresh to the top. I mean, they rank literally number one for almost every keyword that relates around carpet cleaning. They rank extremely well, and it's because we follow a process. And what we're doing, not only do we follow a process, but we check every box, every SEO activity, and we don't take shortcuts. And there's mental work that's involved at each step of the equation. So when you outsource, you get basically a process that's cookie cutter for any of the small businesses in the U.S. When you work with a firm like ours, you get a process that's cookie cutter for that exact business. So it's not cookie cutter at all. We're developing a specific process that relates them to their competitors and where we need to do, where they need to be listed, what activities we need to take on the website, what content we need to create that's going to get them above their competitors.
Marshall Morris, you work with a lot of clients. I want to get your take on this, and I also want to get Dr. Z's take on this. Marshall, what hot and fresh question do you have for Mr. Christian Pillett?
I keep hearing from digital marketing strategists all around the world that content is so important. And if content is so important, why can't I just go, overseas to some type of third-party
a content spinner,
a content spinner, and just have them spin cycle, that content and put it onto my website?
Why can't I just copy content from my competitors?
Why can't I just take my competitors' content, or maybe I found an article that I really liked?
Why can't I just
paste it onto my website? Why can't I do that?
Oh.
Content's king. So the couple top drivers of the Google search engine results, number one, direct traffic. So how popular your brand is. Apple's always going to rank, even if they have a one-page website. Don't have to have a lot of content. Number two, it's the experience that people get when they go on there. So Google has this thing called Google Analytics. It tracks how long people are on your website. And what you need is you need engaging content that speaks to the business problem, the challenge that you're trying to solve, in a way that engages people in a storytelling way. So the content has to be engaging, it has to be on point, and then all of the signals behind the content have to be good. A second part of this, there's the content on your site, and you can pay for great content on the site. And then what a lot of people will do is they'll go pay for content off the site or people to go get them listed off the site, and they'll go pay for these content spinners to do that in other countries. But what's important is that you're generating content not just on your site, but on sites, industry sites and local sites in your area, generating content for those people too that point back to your website. Does that make sense?
Yes. So a good example would be, let me just give an example. The Tulsa World has written many favorable articles about Dr. Zellner over the years because as you have grown your practice, you've decided to give back to the community. And so I'm going to Google search Dr. Zellner Tulsa World. I Googled it right now. And when I Google search it, I see the Tulsa World article. Here, let me pull it up here real quick. And this article, let me pull it up here. This article went live on September 8th of 2014. And it says Dr. Robert H. Zellner and Associates. And when you pull it up, it's an article of a Z about why you decided to become an optometrist. Then there's a 5 questions with Dr. Robert Zellner featured in the Tulsa World where you talk about how you balance family, business, and philanthropy. And those articles link back to your website. And because it's the Tulsa World, which is a Warren Buffett company now, you can't buy your placement there. Those are legitimized articles. And therefore, a backlink from those news sources ranks your site higher. Christian, is that what you're explaining?
100% correct. Content in places that money can't buy are going to directly and that point to your site are going to directly impact the effectiveness of your overall SEO.
So, Dr. Z, you are if nothing else, you are a very pragmatic man who is value driven. You want to offer your customers the best value possible. And you're old school where basically your word of mouth was what was driving you advertised with radio commercials, billboards, but the word of mouth drove the business for years. And now in the last probably 2 years, all of a sudden Google reviews matter. What questions would you have for Christian about digital advertising, old school versus new school? Because you've done a great job of going from old school to new school. But what questions would you have either on behalf of yourself or the peers that you know in the optometry game for Christian? He's a digital marketing guru.
I know, Christian. We've talked about places to start and things we need to do. So if someone's listening out there that already has a business and has been operating for 20 plus years, and now this Google thing, it could be a silent G. It could be Oogle. I don't know. It could be, is it Oogle or is it Google? It could be. Anyway, this, top of the line, page 1, top of the list, all this stuff, it gets a little overwhelming. This search engine optimization. Guys driving the car right now and going, what in the what? What? And it's a real deal, and it's here to stay. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. We know that. So if someone is out there and they have a business, 20 years old, and they want to keep up, they want to now go to the next level, they want to be on page 1, what are some action steps they can do? Is it to call you, get on your website? What can they do? I mean, or just start kind of cruising coffee shops looking for millennials with laptops. I don't know. What's the move here for them to do?
The good news for those people is that if they've had a domain for 20 years, that domain is going to carry more strength than the one that I registered for Adfinitely 3 years ago.
Perfect. Oh, that's good to know.
So they already have a leg up.
Oh, see, that's comforting. For us old guys, that's comforting. Kill you young whippersnappers, we got you.
Exactly. So beyond that, number one thing you need to do is at least create a one-page website, preferably 5 pages that list your services. And I went through, my dad owns an M&A company. I went through this with my dad. He's had the same website since 2003. And it was like, Dad, you really need to update your presence here. You're never, ever going to get found. And also, his website was only built for desktop computers, and we know that the majority of searches are now done on mobile. So the first thing you need to do, create a website, list your 5 services, and it doesn't have to be spectacular. You don't have to take over the world with one website. List your services out and make it mobile friendly so that people who hear about you, who meet you in person, can look you up.
Yep.
And see that you're a legitimate business. The second action item is each business owner has thoughts, and they have thoughts about their business. They have thoughts about their industry. Writing consistently and frequently updating that website, and this is where content comes into play. I don't care if it's 200 words and it's a weekly thought. I think Seth Godin does like 150 word updates or 200 word updates. But just writing consistently and posting it up on that website is going to make a huge difference. Then the other action items are just start to manage your online presence. If you're a business, someone's reviewed you. When I see businesses with no reviews on Google, as a consumer, I'm a little bit skeptical of that business. So go get a review, ask your customers for reviews, and manage the ones that you have had. And I'd say for the other people that aren't digitally savvy, I know we talked about why these companies that will rank you number one for $3.99 are not a great bet. At least engage with a company that's going to start doing the right activities, and we're happy to take your calls. But at least engage with a company that'll do the right activities to get you going forward. It's not a process that's going to change overnight. Just like they started their business 20 years ago and it's probably grown, they need to start their online presence somewhere and grow that as well.
So Christian, I'm a business owner. I'm driving down the road. I'm 50 plus. I've had my business for 20 plus years. And I'm sitting there thinking, he lost me at build my website. What the? Who do I call? How do I get in touch with you? How can you guys help me? Come on. I want to grow this thing. I want to be top of Google. I want to be page one. I want to dominate as I did back in the early 2000s when, hey, you could dominate with a little radio ad and a couple of flyers and, come on, door-to-door knocking.
Kids' jersey at the softball team.
Come on. I mean, you put a patch on come on. I mean, so it's changed. It's changing. So you lost me at build a website. 1 page, 5 page. I'm done. What? I don't even know where to start. So I want to hire someone. I don't want to do this. I don't want to try to reinvent the wheel. Someone out there has the parade. I just want to get in front of it. So how do I get in touch with you? What do I do?
To get in touch with us, it's www.adfinitely.com, Infinitely Adfinitely, so ADFINITELY.com. And that's submitting a form on our website, contacting us. That is the easiest way. Again, we'd be happy to work with you.
Do that website one more time, really slow, because I'm driving and I'm trying to write when I'm just trying. I don't want to run into the truck in front of me.
Driving.
Yes, trying to eat baked beans. I love baked beans.
www.adfinitely.com is our website, and it is mobile optimized, so you can look it up on your phone.
Wow. While I'm eating my baked beans.
Now, Wes Carter, final question for you, my friend. You're talking to a digital marketing expert, a guy here who has seen many companies get it wrong.
Many.
What final question do you have? You're a top attorney. You're talking to a top digital marketer. What question do you have for Mr. Christian Pillett?
Well, I hope this one's in your wheelhouse because I know you talked about multiple location franchises. So with people, like in my industry or many industries, some of our services are local based, so I'm optimizing for Tulsa, certain law services. Many of my clients claim mention all over the country. So are there unique challenges with optimizing for a nationwide service as opposed to a local service? Is that something you guys handle?
We do handle that. I can give you an example. A client is CMIT Solutions. And they are a franchise. They have about 220 territories, I think, across the U.S. I hope I got that right. But they can service any area. They're an IT solutions company. Just like Adfinitely, we can service any area. They can service any area as well. Now, franchisees have specific territories. With that company, what we've done is taken a local strategy to make sure in the areas that they rank well for the keywords they want to show for. Nationally, what people do is they go in and they type in IT support. And it's not, IT support isn't necessarily a local term. It's a national term that Google is going to show big results for. So national, what you want to do is figure out your target keywords, have those placed on your website. Mm-hmm. And then it's about the off-page strategy when you're talking nationally.
Gotcha.
How many of these big sites. So you've got the Tulsa Tribune, I think it was.
Yeah, the Tulsa World.
Tulsa World. So you've got Tulsa World and Tulsa, but you've got the Wall Street Journal, you've got USA Today, and those are the sites when you're talking about a national strategy that you need to start getting links from. And you need to go out and start to get content in there. And getting content in there typically requires knowing someone, and it typically requires a very, very strong content writer. So for those the people who want to rank nationally, that's when you're talking about spending $10,000-$20,000 a month.
Real quick, because this is not a backhanded compliment for you, but I have interviewed people on the show. Bruce Clay, who writes Search Engine for Dummies. We're going to have Gary on with SEO Inc. fairly soon here. You guys are charging $10,000 to $20,000 a month to your clients to be top nationally, and people are willing to pay it. In fact, they pay it year after year, month after month, because they're happy with the results. Why does it cost so much money?
So the money, part of the money comes from reputation, and it's you're paying for context half the time with the SEO industry.
True.
And those contacts that we've generated over years allow us to get people into places where they might not otherwise be seen. And it's also just the knowledge of having worked with different business types and knowing what works in what industry, that what happens is you pay $20,000 a month and you get less mistakes. The other thing you'll find is when you're in these highly competitive markets, that means your business is doing quite well.
Yep.
And if your business is national, your business is typically doing pretty well. Your competitors are out there paying $30,000-$40,000 a month. And this isn't something you turn off and on, and it's about finding a partner, again, you trust, and getting someone who you know is going to make the right recommendations, and also someone who isn't so stuck in their ways, that can be innovative and move quickly as the industry moves. So Google changes stuff every day. Facebook updates their algorithms every day, and you have to find a partner that stays on top of it and can move as quickly as they are.
You know, just as an example, Dr. Z, we've been working this for a long time, but we just hit page 1 for the phrase Best Business Workshops. I want to say it's like a 4-year quest of adding high-quality content.
Yes.
We've been featured in Bloomberg, Forbes, Fast Company. We've never lost faith, but it is a grind. And if you're out there and you're saying, you know what, I'm lost in the wilderness of local search engine optimization, I need help. What does it cost minimum, Mr. Christian, to get in the game? If somebody's out there and they're a fairly competitive market and they need some help with local search engine optimization, you know, they're competing against competitors that are fairly established incumbents. How much is the minimum average for a local client?
A great example is a commercial furniture company that we work with. They spend $10,000 a month. They only distribute to the Atlanta area. But what's great about digital is you can see the value and you can see the contacts of what you're getting.
Yep.
Each one of their customers spends about $100,000 to $150,000 average sale.
There we go.
When they get a new customer. So if our $10,000 a month gets them 10 sales a month,
yep,
then they're making $1 million a month off a $10,000 investment. If anyone tells me I can spend 1% of my budget on marketing and get that kind of growth investment, I'm taking it every day.
True. Z, my mind has exploded, but I duct taped my skull before today's show, so I'm able to keep in the gray matter.
That took a lot of duct tape, by the way.
Well, I have the largest.
Do we have the largest? I mean, if we contacted Guinness Book of World Records,
the average human head is about 11 pounds.
Do you seriously have it? I mean, we've got the record yet on that.
It's 27 pounds.
I know. We should contact Guinness Book of World Record. I mean, you do probably have the biggest melon in the world. I don't know.
My gourd is impressive to even our almighty Lord.
Yeah,
my dome is unbelievable. It's a massive wig. And so, Christian, I appreciate you hopping on today's show and educating us and expanding our minds. And we like to end every show with a 3, 2, 1, and then a boom, because boom stands for big, overwhelming, optimistic momentum. Christian, are you prepared to give us a boom?
Absolutely.
Wes, are you prepared?
I am.
Marshall, are you psychologically prepared?
100%.
Z, are you physically prepared?
Absolutely.
Z, are you metaphysically prepared?
Absolutely.
And without any further ado, three, two,
2, 1,
boom!
boom.
If you are like most humans that I know, when you see two gas stations and one sells gas for a little bit less and they're next to each other, you might go for the one that sells gas for less money. It makes sense. You know, every little bit can help.
You know, I don't really agree with that. I like to spend as much money as I possibly can on fossil fuels. It's just something I'm into, you know?
But here's what's weird, though. Sometimes we save a few pennies here and there and ignore opportunities to save huge money. I'm talking about life-changing money. If you switch today, as an example, to MediShare for your health care, it could be a massive savings for you and your family. The typical savings for a family is about $500 a month. I repeat, $500 a month. Okay, I have a quick question. So when you said you could save like $500 a month, I mean, are you talking about actually being able to save $500 a month? Yes, that's why I said the number. You can actually save $500 a month. Just think about that for a second. What would you do with all that extra money? Thrivers, you could be buying a flat screen every single month. That's 12 flat screens a year, $6,000 per year, or 12 flat screens per year.
Well, I have been trying to save up for 12 flat screens, and this seems to be the most reasonable, prudent way to do it.
And yes, people love it. They love it because it works. It's believers who share each other's healthcare costs. And now with over 400,000 people, aka members of MediShare, again, with over 400,000 members, there's proof it works. And it's growing like crazy. It would be like having a 7-foot-tall third grader in your family. It's like growing like a weed. It is taking off. Find out how much you can save and why MediShare is so popular. Go to medishare.com/clay. That's MediShare, MEDI share.com/clay. Or call them at 844-25-SHARE for more info. That's 844-25-SHARE.